you?
It's Friday.
It's 5 o'clock.
And it's Crackerjack.
A meteor storm that the sky above us was dancing with lights. Purple, green, brilliant yellow, yes!
What?
These shoes! They fit perfectly. Yes.
But James, I need you.
So does England.
There are worlds out there where the sky's burning, where the sea's asleep and the rivers dream. People made of smoke and cities made of song. Some of there's danger, some of there's injustice, and somewhere else the tea's getting cold. Come on, Ace, we've got work to do.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, yes, indeed. Good evening, good morning. I hope you're all doing well. This is a pre-record, I'm afraid. For me, it is 8:36 in the morning. Boy, I am ahead of the game, which is why I'm recording it. I've been under the weather recently, right? Oh, man, I've been under the weather a lot, but I've been under the weather recently, so my content has been reduced. I think I'm feeling better now, thank God. Right, as I said, I'm ahead of the game, so I thought I'll record this video because there's so many bits and pieces going on which I really wanted to get to, right? And I just haven't had a chance. I might be live tomorrow, right? I don't know. It's got hellish event starts tomorrow night on Saturday night, which is slichot, right? It's the Slicha are these prayers that you say, which basically means, I'm very sorry, God. Now, you need to do at least 4 days of it, and you need to start the evening after Sabbath. So wherever the Jewish, up until in the week before the Jewish New Year, that's the important thing I've got to mention, right? So the Jewish New Year falls out on Friday. So we got to start on, it's not the longest amount of time you got to do it, but it's pretty long, right? So I have to start on Saturday night, and it's a nightmare. Right, it's a freaking nightmare because you're supposed to do it after the Jewish legal definition of midnight, which is 12:37 or something, ridiculous. Like now, there's many types of Jews. I mean, you have the non-religious Jews. That's the majority, the normal Jews. Okay, that's the majority, right? But of the religious Jews, there's two types. There's, well, again, broadly speaking, you've got the Eastern European kind, the Ashkenazi, this kind, right? And then you got like the more swarthy Eastern. So the Eastern one, they do it right from the beginning of this month, the Jewish month of Elul, the month started before the Jewish New Year, and they only do it after the Jewish legal midnight and before Jewish legal sunrise. So it's got to be like at 12:30 up until about 5 in the morning. It's like awful, right? So thank God I am not of that tradition. However, right, so I do this one at like 12:35, so whatever it is. Oh God! And then in the morning, it's normally before your normal prayer group. Well, mine starts at 7:15. So prayers for me all this week start at 6:55. The week after, they're going to start at 6:50. That's right up until the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, which is 10 days after the Jewish New Year. Oh, it's a nightmare. I mean, there are advantages to it. The reason that there were a lot of Jews didn't get caught in the Twin Towers at 9/11 because it's a financial center. A lot of Jews work there, right? Is because it was during this time of Slichot, right? And the people get to work a little bit later, and that's really why they missed the 9/11 sparking conspiracy that Jews were behind it. Which I'm not going to say they weren't. I can't put my hand on my heart and say I attest to anything anymore unless I personally know, right? I don't think Jews are behind it. It sounds like it's something to do with the Saudi Arabian Secret Service. That's what's sort of come out recently. I don't know. Who knows who's there's in? But the point is this: I got to be up to like 12:30 tomorrow night, so I might do a stream, right? I might do. Also a little bit of community notes, community announcement that. As always, right? It happens basically every stream. I look at videos and stuff like that to illustrate the points I'm talking about often Doctor Who, and I always get copyright blocked, right? And I need to like go and click the button to edit it. So somebody says, "Oh, I went to watch it and it was offline." Yeah, that's true, but I normally like have the thing trimmed out if if I need to. But that normally takes a few hours. Rumble, go over to Rumble. In the video notes, go over to Rumble. If you can't find my content or it's blocked, it will be available there, right? Rumble, and subscribe on Rumble. Like, Rumble is so much better for me, right? It's so much better for me. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers on Rumble. Because if I get to 1,000, I reckon I get to 5,000, right? I want Rumble to overtake my YouTube account. That would be fantastic. Rumble, you need to get your app working better in England and basically around the world, right? You need to get your app. Although Rumble, I tell you, is a fine YouTube alternative if you like free speech. Should I, before we get into all the things I want to get to, one of the stories going around this week is Star Wars is saved. Dave Filoni saved Star Wars with the latest episode of Ahsoka. How? It's awful. I mean, really, listen, I like the character of Ahsoka Tano in Clone Wars. I never saw Rebels, right? But I thought she was good. I mean, I liked her until they wrapped up a character, when she had a lesbian awakening and she ended up in Coruscant with the Latino mechanics. I mean, God, like, honestly, do you think? I say left leaning, but not real left leaning. Democrats, right? If I want to vote, do you think the progressive leftists are more or less racist now than when they had the KKK? I think they're more racist. I mean, like, you have to have Latino women, because women are stunning and brave, right? And they have to be mechanics. Really? It's just, it makes me sick. Anyway, so I always like the character, but Rosanna Dawson's take on it is just bland beyond bland. And she's and the main character is Sabrine Wren, who was a character from Rebels, which I never watched, and I think probably the cartoon was more lifelike than whoever is playing it. Again, so bland and so not for the male gaze. Oh God, it's just, listen, I wish you would understand. Star Wars is an entertainment designed essentially for young boys, and I know you hate it when they say girls can like Star Wars. Yes, girls can like Star Wars too, but they like Star Wars being Star Wars, not this weird feminized garbage that they put out, right? So essentially, the girls in it were sort of eye candy, like in Indiana Jones, right? Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, you had who was the love interest in that? Who ended up marrying Steven Spielberg, right? If you ever see the behind the scenes videos, he is like, whoa, well, I'm a little Jewish boy with this tall shiksa, I'm doing good, right? And she's like, he's rich. They were both very happy, right? They were both very happy when they started courting, right? Well, yeah, what was I going with that? I can't remember now. I had a whole thing planned out, and it's gone, baby. It's gone. It's good because I'm running short on time. I should really get it. Anyway, there's been a bunch. Oh yeah, so Star Wars being saved, bland dialogue. Oh yeah. Essentially, Star Wars basically for little boys, which means the girls in it are sort of eye candy, or it's the love interest in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom was for someone for Indy to kiss, because little boys think that's what people do, like big heroes do. But the sexuality in it was very innocent and very like, ew, they're kissing, right? It was that's essentially what it was for. And again, that's what the female characters of Star Wars before. The Force isn't female. You're wrong, Kathleen Kennedy. Like you're wrong about freaking everything. Oh, so on the good news, and hopefully we'll get to the story today. The Disney will need to sell Star Wars in the near future. I don't know. I think if somebody offers $5 billion for Star Wars, they should totally take it. They paid $5 billion for it, and they devalued it quite a lot, right? But $5 billion, I think they're doing very well, very well. And then what would I do if I had a spare $5 billion? And I'll probably need about $6 billion because I need to make some content, right? So if I had a spare $6 billion knocking around, right, I would buy Star Wars, and I would put Jon Favreau in charge. I would do a hard turn away from the sequel trilogy. There was a whole thing about in the third season of Mandalorian, which I quite liked, right? I can't imagine I'm going to like anything else Star Wars based on Ahsoka. Anyway, I quite like the first season of Mandalorian, but you had a bit in it where you had that big Mando, with that giant gun. Now, that was a Jon Favreau Mando, and he ends up getting killed by the Praetorian Guard, which represented the sequel trilogy. I believe that theory, and I'll put Jon Favreau in charge. We'll change the course of Star Wars away from the sequels. We will delegitimize the sequel trilogy. And I know I'll get something like Christopher Nolan to direct an epic movie called the Life and Death of Luke Skywalker, right? And we could see his whole life story. I think that'd be an interesting story, and also you'd be able to revisit iconic moments once again with digitally aging. By the way, at the end of Ahsoka, you had Anakin Skywalker show up, Hayden Christensen, and when they digitally de-aged him for that lightsaber fight in Obi-Wan Kenobi, it looked not good. Right? Look at this was freaking perfect, right? This looked absolutely perfect. Would I have Princess Leia in it? Yes, but I'd have her in it very, very minimally. I'd have her like she would vanish or something because I wouldn't want to recast her. Even though gorgeous as she looked in the gold bikini. Again, they're eye candy, right? They're eye candy. She wasn't very good, and look, it's clear she liked cocaine way more than she liked acting, right? It was very, very clear. God bless her. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, there's a bunch of stories that I didn't get to, which I really wanted to get to. I think, which is very endemic of this week in Geekdom, right? This week in Geekdom, which is what this stream is all about. Anyway, let's start off with this over here. Doink. Why shooting Gatwa Doctor is a step forward for Doctor Who. A new direction means more than you think. No, we know exactly what it means because you keep screaming about it. I understand he's black. I understand he's gay. Now, I will agree with you that it's taken 60 years to get a black Doctor. A bit embarrassing. I will absolutely agree with you there. I mean, the time for a black Doctor, I think, was 85. Instead of Colin Baker, I wish I could go back in time and whisper in John Nathan Turner's ear, say, get a super hot black guy, right? Basically, something like shooting. And I was so on board with shooting bloody casting, right? I thought it was different, interesting. I thought he could be a really iconic Doctor Who. I hope he still can, right? But the only thing they talk about, like literally, the only thing he and Rusty Davis talk about is representation. Dude, how about talking about making good Doctor Who, right? Because I don't believe you're going to do it anymore, right? Maybe you will. Maybe. I just don't believe it because all I'm hearing from you is representation. I feel so seen. How could you not feel seen? I mean, right. I mean, honestly, look, Shooty, I have to ask you, what do you think is going to happen if you have a shirt on over your nipples, right? If your nipples are not exposed, do you think they're just going to explode and you'll blow up? I mean, like, dude, no one has been as seen as you ever, for God's sake. I mean, like, you left narcissism behind quite some time ago. So, how Shooty Gatwa coming out as gay, and really, was that a surprise? It's like Liberace coming out as gay. No one was shocked. Right, apart from Austin Powers. No one was shocked, right? No one was shocked whatsoever that Liberace. No one was shocked. They've been like, how much gayer could you have been? Right, but fine, you came out as gay. Probably Rusty Davis said, oh, it's very important for gay people. Why? I mean, like, is it important for gay people that Simon Callow was a gay Charles Dickens? I wouldn't mind him being the Doctor. I mean, who cares? I wouldn't care if Tom Baker was gay. I wouldn't care if Colin Baker was gay. I wouldn't care if Patrick Troughton was gay. That would be weird. But I wouldn't care, right? I genuinely, I understand at the time they probably would have. But again, the time for a black Doctor, probably 85, right? I think that probably would have done the show a lot of good. It's not, I dislike Colin Baker. But anyway, this has been the relentless bleating of the bloody week, right? The new direction means more than you think. Really? Shooty Gatwa's casting as the 15th Doctor, if he is the 15th, is historic! Making him the first black, well, you had Dr. Ruth. Are you saying that's not a real Doctor? Good, we agree. An openly queer Time Lord. How does this make anything better? I just explain the thing. So people feel accepted. They felt fucking accepted beforehand. And if you didn't, you're mentally bloody ill. Right? Like, how much more accepted can anybody feel? Oh, marking a win for diversity in the long-running series. Diversity is racism. Diversity is bigotry, right? Diversity is evil. Now, I'm not saying, minorities should be absent from our screens. No, of course not. I am saying, like, putting weird fringe sexualities as completely normal and something that might be a good choice for you, presenting is a bad idea. And I'm more and more convinced now that Ncuti at some point is going to be wearing a dress in season 14 or season 15, whatever it is. I'm really, really more convinced because that seems to be like, why wouldn't they? Right? Why wouldn't they? Doctor Who's password day for queerness has been lacking. How? What the fuck? What? I mean, did you ever see Bill Potts? I don't think you went more than 20 minutes without talking about liking to eat carpet. Right? No, I understand. This teeny tiny fragment of society, the 3% of society, wants to be represented as 90% of society. I mean, if you look at an average Marvel comic now, all superheroes are fat gay lesbians, right? Who like to sit around eating and dissing on men, right? I understand that. So it hasn't been lacking at all. Captain Jack, what the fuck's wrong with you? The queer characters often sidelined and introduced late in the series. Captain Jack was introduced right at the beginning of the 2005 run. And again, nobody was straight or gay in the original run, right? I mean, yeah, look, Leela went off to marry Andred, but it's not like we saw her sucking his dick. I mean, for God's sake, I don't know. I think I might have gone for that episode now. I'm thinking about that. But nobody was straight or gay. And if there was a reference to sexuality, it was predominantly straight, because 97% of the world is straight. If you don't like that, seek psychological help. So, yeah, the second point is bullshit beyond bullshit. Gatwa Doctor brings a much-needed representation that's, again, replete and never-ending, that allows the show to depict queer stories. Why do we need to depict queer stories, right? How is Pyramids of Mars? How would that be any better from Marcus Scarman, liking to get a reach around, right? I mean, for fuck's sake. How would it be? I'm asking you, it's a genuine question. How would it be better? Don't get me wrong, I like Happiness Patrol, right? Yeah, clearly, what's his name, with the pink triangle, who got killed in a tube of pink jizz, right? He's like, oh no, please don't put me in the tube of pink jizz. That seems to be the way I would like to go. I mean, yeah, clearly, but why do you need to write gay on a baseball bat and keep hitting me in the fucking face with it? Gatwa's portrayal of the 15th Doctor opened the doors for more diverse characters. And so, how much more diverse? Really? I mean, I saw somebody saying they're trans financial, which means they're poor, but they identify as being wealthy. And it's very hard. I might commit suicide. If I don't identify as being wealthy. So you need to give me money so I can be wealthy, right? Otherwise, I might kill myself, right? I saw another thing with a picture of a kid with a cigarette saying, "Would you rather have a child smoker or a child suicide?" Neither. Potentially leading to a renaissance period for Doctor Who and inspiring more progressive moments in the show. Let me tell you, the minute Ncuti Gatwa walks out unironically in a dress is the day it's going to be ridiculed. Worse than Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, right? And boy, those weirdos are still freaking out. I did a story yesterday about how somebody was complaining about being attacked for liking Jodie Whittaker at a convention. And it turned out she had a conversation. She said she liked the 13th Doctor. And everybody in the room said, oh, we think it was shit, right? I did that! No, everybody thinks it was shit. I mean, again, 97% of the world is straight. Probably 99% of the world thinks Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who was shit. The only reason that would be any less would be because nobody watched it. Because it was shit! Doctor Who has been celebrated for decades of unique storytelling that pulls inspiration from around the world, using historical events and mundane moments as foundation for the most memorable episodes. Well, thank you for that. Each year of Doctor Who has introduced a new Doctor that whisks the viewers away on adventures across time and space. This series has become so successful that we decided we needed to take it over and make everybody fucking gay all the time. Again, what's the name of that character? I'm going to look it up. Okay, 1 sec. Let me look at Happiness Patrol. Doctor Who Happiness Patrol. That he was a named character, so he should be in the cast list, right? It was somewhere low down. Not Earl Sigma. Was it Trevor Sigma? No. Harold V. I don't know. Gilbert M. No, Gilbert M. was the secret police. I can't remember. I don't know. That's a shame. Whoever he was. Let's say, no, it wasn't Trevor Sigma. It wasn't Earl Sigma. Say Harold V, right? Harold V. I mean, again, killed in a tube of pink jizz. I think he can survive. I think he didn't survive. But I don't think he fought. Like, I didn't put up any resistance at all. Where are we up to? The series has become so successful and endless, we decided to take it over, make everybody gay. To explore new plot lines through fresh faces leading the way. Judy Gatwood, casting 15th Doctor, is historic as the first black Time Lord to pilot the TARDIS. Granted. I mean, again, if you mean that's erasing, was it Dr. Ruth, whatever bloody name is, fine. Neil Patrick Harris shared that they will be the first openly queer Doctor. Again, can somebody please explain to me why this is a good thing? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying, well, it probably, in this day and age, it is a bad thing because it means it's not going to be very good. Right, but how is this a good thing? Nobody opening queer Doctor. This season stands as a win for diversity and progression in the long-running British series. Yeah. Do you remember the last time you had a win for diversity and progression? Right? It did kill. It didn't nearly kill the show. It did kill the show, right? Because very rarely can you have diversity and progression and quality, right? And don't turn off the entire freaking audience. I mean, here, you want to see what a win for diversity and progression means? It looks like that, right? That's what it looks like. The only upticks are Captain Jack and David Bloody Tennant, right? Oh, God, David Tennant, I want to slap you. I'm going to protect children. Really? Are you the one stopping them cut off their balls and their tits, or are you the one encouraging it? Because if you're the one encouraging it, I don't think that's very protecting. I think that's not very protecting, right? That's what I think. Despite the show's creating deeply memorable characters that are still greatly beloved today, Doctor Who's been needing change like this for a while. The whole last era was that, and it was a complete and total failure. It's been routine for Doctor Who to fall back on heterosexual women. 97% of the world is straight. Fucking weirdos. And again, I don't mind if you're gay. 97% of the world is straight. Oh, so weird, right? At the whole of most of the recent seasons, well, not the most recent seasons. No, 1 second. So we had, you had some tacit lesbian romance going on with Jodie and Yaz in the first season. Which got much more explicit in the second season, which got Yaz literally masturbating over a hologram of Jodie. I say literally in my fan fiction. In the third season, I'm like, man, if Jodie was going to turn Yaz gay, because she certainly came in as straight, right? How? What's the charisma in Jodie? Oh my god. The romantic tension between the femme companion and Doctor has stifled Doctor's ability to explore sexuality and romantic relationships. Why do you need to explore sexualities and romantic relationships in a show about time and space? I'll tell you why. It's because you're looking for validation for your weird, weird thoughts on sexuality and relationships, right? It's nothing about making the show better. It's about making you feel validated, right? And making you feel validated alienates 97% of the fucking audience, you fucking moron. With queer characters have been written into Doctor Who in past seasons, the representation feels a bit too late. Why? Again, in 2005, when it came back, there was no problem being gay. No, there was no prejudice about being gay, right? And if there was, I mean, like, I don't think there was any prejudice about being gay as there were opposed to any other, minority. Everybody was fine, right? Everybody was fine. It was only 2015, 2016 when Brexit happened and Donald Trump that you all lost your insane little minds. They voted for them because they're racist. No, we voted for Donald Trump so we could get the greatest economy of our lives and world peace. Do you not remember that? Yeah, but now you spin it in every way. Go, oh, no, he was such a racist. Oh, for God's sake. Oh. Right. But no, again, and why did they feel that way? It's because they were invalidated. Their worldview was invalidated, and they had to come up with some reason. And look, a lot of people still think Trump won the 2016 election because of Russian interference, right? But they think the 2020 election super duper kosher. And if you question it, you're going to jail, literally, right? They're sending the DOJ, FBI has recommended a 120-day jail sentence for a YouTuber saying that he thought the election was stolen. Is that freedom of speech? No. It's freedom of speech only when it doesn't make somebody feel invalidated. And that's the thing. It's just looking for validation for their insane worldview. And here's the crazy thing. Most gay people don't feel the same way, right? Most gay people don't, unless they're bonkers, right? Most gay people don't need validation to be gay. This is mainly straight white liberal what's the word? Campaigners, for want of a better word. Dr. Mark has implied queer times and subtext heavily has been sheepish when venturing out the comfort zone, like depicting queerness through Captain Jack. How much more openly can you depict queerness? He literally buttfucked Yanto in the hub. I mean, literally, we saw that on screen. How much more implied is that? What, like we didn't get a cum shot on Yanto's face? That wasn't enough for you? God's sake. I mean, like, really? There have been past second characters who have been members of the queer community, but Doctor Who finally committed to a queer lead is a long overdue and much needed milestone that the show should celebrate. And again, I'm sorry, 97% of the world is straight. And again, what happens in your bedroom is your own business. Like, keep it to yourself. What does Doctor Who mean for what does a queer doctor mean for sci-fi representation? It means it's going to fail, and it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. I mean, again, I spoke about Ahsoka in the beginning. You know, you got Ray Stevens in it, who is phenomenal, right? Just phenomenal. Such a great villain. Such an absolutely great villain. So wasted. I think Ncuti Gatwa could be a great doctor, right? He's got this weird energy and like this great smile, but like if all he's concerned about is saying how like it's looking to be validated for wanting to suck someone's dick, and I don't care you want to suck someone's dick, Ncuti. It doesn't, and I don't care the color of a dick you suck either, right? Doesn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. We shouldn't care. Just do your job, right? Just do your job. Fiction as genre has been known to take cues from the real world events and use them as foundation for storytelling. There's also been a thing called propaganda, right? You know, the Nazis were great at that. The Nazis were fan-dabby-dozy at that, right? They, one of the things they wanted to do, and they did, was kill mentally handicapped people, right? That's something that they were really, really into it. And to get the public on board for that, they did quite a lot of propaganda. But there was a movie they did with, I don't know who the name of the actor, but it was like a major actor. Oh, major actors who became, the story was somebody who became mentally ill, and it was so sad. Oh, and then in the story, you know, you had you know, they begged for euthanasia. Please kill me. Please kill me. Again, pure propaganda, right? Pure, unrelenting propaganda, which is what this is, right? This isn't representation. This is a takeover, right? This is an absolute freaking takeover. And for no one telling you not to be gay. Like, literally, no one is telling you not to be gay. And if they are, I mean, again, I'm a Bible-thumping freaking rabbi. Like, I believe God himself has said, oh, you know, the gay thing, not so much. Live and let live. That's my opinion. I'm not telling you how to live. I don't know I'm right. Right? And look, just as a side, I think God loves everyone, you know, and I don't think he's, you know, like desperate to have religious people come around and put you guys in camps, right? I think that I would oppose that as a religious person, because I think that is wrong. Oh, yeah, aren't you sick of having to say the bleeding freaking obvious, right? Which is, I just got to say the bleeding obvious all the bloody time. Oh. Anyway, I digress. back to the bleeding stupid. From all of us, however, it's historically been exhaustingly common for science fiction pop to turn a blind eye to some forms of representation. Again, we're looking at sci-fi shows, for God's sake. What has this got to do with being gay? Right? Like you know, I don't understand. Like, was Star Trek any worse for Mr. Spock not giving Bones a hand job? Really? I don't think it was. Listen, if you want to have like the Yeoman Rand, Lieutenant Uhura lesbian scene, I could be on board. Not played by Zoe Saldana though. I never did it for me. How about the Yeoman Rand #1? Okay, fine. Now I need to go and have a cold shower. That's a good idea, right? That's good. However, it's well, everything's exhausting for you. It's exhaustingly common for something that has nothing to do with sexuality to have not mentioned sexuality. When creating characters that inhabit the new world, subtext can only do so much for queer fans of science fiction. Again, I've never seen a fat Jewish Doctor Who. Do you see me fucking crying? No, I get over it. Because there's nothing to get fucking over. It can feel like it's more progress to be made when it comes to fully telling queer stories. Then make your own shit. See how, and you know what? Here's the thing: when you do, it fails completely. There was Billy Eichler did a gay rom-com, was it Bros, that fell completely, right? The only reason, like Cuckoos, these activists try and perch and take over things that already exist because nobody's fucking interested, because they're all fucking straight and we don't care that you're gay. Like Doctor Who Star Trek has been known for its forward queer anecdotes that the series has done. It's best to feature queer characters. And again, I'm sick of queer. Queer can mean fucking anything. Gay. There's hope that Shooting Up was Doctor will allow Doctor Who to take on some courage and fully and actually depict queer people in the arts. Captain Jack, Bill Potts, to name but two. And wasn't Clara tacitly bi? And again, why we do it? Why do I need to talk about what you do in your bedroom all the time? Right? Why is that important to you? Right? Because you're a weirdo. That's why. Heteronormity can present only one aspect of humanity, or 97% of it. That's right. But it can't capture the universal experience. So, again, I think for 3% of the population, right, you're very overrepresented. To see change, there must be change. Oh, God. If this is how Russell thinks, we're fucked. Right? We are. We're totally fucked. Doctor Who could carve out a defining trait for both itself and the whole genre as a whole by validating the 15th Doctor's identity. No, it means people will just drop it like a fucking stone. No one's interested. Right? And Russell, you are not failure-proof, mate. And Disney, you are very far from failure-proof. Seeing as everything you've done, which has gone down this route, which is everything, has failed. There are enough straight characters in science fiction. Are there? They've all been killed. Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Captain Picard, Captain... they're all dead, right? They're all dead. And the abundance of hetero representation directly blocks the opportunity for queer voices. Then make your own shit. Make Queer Trek, whatever you want. Go and make your own shit. And may I say, the weird lesbian kiss at the end of Rise of Skywalker was the weirdest part of a weird shit movie, right? And then when you do have actual representation, you had, what's his name? John Boyega as Finn. Great in Force Awakens, and then gets relegated to the comedy cuck. Why? Because the people making it don't like black men, right? They are racist. Where are we up to? Directly blocks out the opportunity for queer, blah, blah, blah. The update needs to meet the needs of needs of genre that begs for more diversity. You beg for it if you're out your fucking mind, right? If you're not in your mind, I think you're fine. The simple act of keeping a non-heterosexual character front and center, Doctor Who is able to make up for the... I mean, again, Jodie's Doctor wasn't straight, was she? For the aspect of the historically has been dramatically lacking across science fiction. Again, up until 2015, we were fine with 97% of the world being straight, right? 97% of the world. Doctor Who needs a queer main character. Why? I can't, and I don't mind he's gay, but what does this... How is it better to be gay to fight the Zygons? Like, how does that connect to you? It's still, this is narcissism. Narcissism gone mad, right? In past seasons of Doctor Who, there have been mentions of characters having LGBTQI identities. Yes, and the mention of them because they had very much had LGBTQI identities. Again, Captain Jack literally butt-fucked Yanto in the Torchwood hub. Does it get gayer than that? I don't know. It feels like highlighting how their roles are the greater part of the series has been delayed. Again, this is just insanity. It took to the late 2010s for an openly gay companion outside of Captain Jack Harkness. I mean, it took to 2010 for the first one, other than the first one. What's wrong with you? And what, you want to tell me that Adric was straight? Well, that whole weird bondage fantasy in Castrovalva with Andric and the Master and Anthony Ainley and Matthew Waterhouse were indeed fucking each other. You want to tell me that Adric was straight? No, I'm sorry. When you look through Adric's room, I'm sure if you found any long pointy objects, you shouldn't play with it, because might need a clean, is all I'm saying. Might need a clean. Where are we up to? 2010s, other than the one in 2005. You dumb cunt. I mean, really? You're just a dumb cunt. Shooting up as 15 Doctor has the potential to embrace his identity and express himself without being at risk of being sidelined by the writers, just by the audience, right? Which we will, right? It will kill Doctor Who. And don't fucking... The first time Ncuti walks out in a dress, it's over, right? It might come back in a few years, but it's fucking over. And mark my words, it's not going to survive that. Because people are fucked off, right? The weird thing is, they don't understand. Have you noticed all these people say, oh no, we got to have weird drag queens, Rita children, are people without children, universally, right? It's so weird. Oh. But don't embrace it fully. It'll be sidelined by the writers. This historic decision made by the showrunners to demonstrate how Doctor Who continues to evolve. Again, This is what your evolution looked like so far, right? This is what your evolution looked like so far. And I can really see him bringing David Tennant to somehow make the queerness kosher. It introduced openly gay character outside Captain Jack Harkness. Shooting gut was 15 Doctor. Blah blah blah. To best depict all walks of life. Yes. Again, are we going to depict Trump supporters? Right? Are we going to depict gay right-wing people? Are we going to depict how left-wing people supported anti-Semitism with Jeremy Corbyn? No, we're not going to depict all walks of life. We're just going to pick the narcissistic walks of life that validates you, you dumb cunt. And you're probably not even gay. Expecting consistent heterosexuality is unrealistic. Yeah, we're only 90% of the population. Yeah, it's only 97% of us. Ask for a character who has gone through multiple identities. How can somebody who claims to be over 1,000 years find them routinely experiencing only one type of romantic attraction? Okay, what romantic attraction did Tom Baker experience? Do you remember? Okay, list them off for me. What's the first one? Hello? What's the first one? What's the first heterosexuality with Tom Baker? Okay, fine. You can't think. What about John Pertwee? Hello? And what? You want me? You want to tell me Mike Yates wasn't gay? I mean, let's be clear. When he went on a date with Joe Grant was totally his beard, right? I mean, like, again, and how do you know that the John Pertwee wasn't sucking off Sergeant Benton? Captain Benton. He became sergeant when he sucked him off. How do you know that? I mean, how do you know that Ian and the Doctor weren't getting it on? Like, we don't know anything. Like, again, that we have seen nothing about the Doctor's sexuality, right? Up until very uncomfortably with David Tennant and Rose, right? Very uncomfortably. Yeah, why do you need to insert sexuality in there? It's because you're a narcissist weirdo. That's why. Narcissism in time and space. It's natural for them to realize, hey, maybe they're not as straight as they think they are. Again, the series really didn't begin to include romantic romance probably until the early 2000s reboot. It wasn't a reboot. And yes, fine. So you're talking about since 2005, where you had the very gay Captain Jack, who butt-fucked Yanto in the fucking Torchwood hub. Pretty gay, I would say. Fine. So always had gay representation there. And it was the 10th Doctor's relationship with Billie Piper, Rose Tyler, that revitalized the idea of having a romance. It didn't revitalize it, it inserted it, and it inserted it uncomfortably as a one-time thing. And it any more than that, I don't think it worked. Right? In fact, Doctor Who fan was previously criticized for showing the Doctor having a relationship with the companion. Yes, it still is. Even after audiences were made more comfortable with romance being a key plot point in Doctor Who, there hasn't been much attention given to queer storylines. You know, it felt to me that the Doctor's relationship with River Song was somewhat platonic. Maybe not with the Capaldi one with what's the name? With River Song. There you go. They're 20 years that they lived there, or whatever, 40 years, or whatever, however long it was before she went off to the silence in the library. Queer story. And Jack Harkness and Yanto Jones butt fucking each other, were able to kickstart the visibility of kickstart again. Butt fucking in the openly butt fucking is, I would say, reasonably more than kickstarting. In terms of Madame Vastra and Jenny Flint can be credited for the depiction of sapphic partnership in series, and that really didn't work. I hate to tell you, that really genuinely didn't work. Yeah, I was talking about Deep Breath last night, Capaldi's first story. It was like an hour long, and it was 15 to 20 minutes too long. And the stuff they added in that should have been cut was the comedy stuff with Madame Vastra and Jenny being a sapphic couple. Well, there's some effort here. It's still more than still left more to be desired by queer representation. If you're an insane narcissist, if you're not, you should be fine. Doctor Who now has the potential to relate to a broader audience. Yes, you're going to get that other 3% that was massively overrepresented anyway, through a more niche angle and lose all the audience. Tying adventures through time and space together with relatable human elements. Again, it's not relatable if 97% of your audience don't relate to it. A queer main character in Doctor Who means it'll be the end of the show. Means the show can learn from itself while creating a fresh, new, and daring directions to take itself in. It won't make it past season 15, if they even make season 15. Again, I think Disney's about to go down, baby. Oh, God, wouldn't that be great? Shooting Out was 15 Doctor will be able to bring a new perspective that hasn't been shared before, other than relentlessly for the last, 5-10 years. And that's exactly what the saga is. This is still going on. Okay, more. Shooting Out was 15 Doctor is just the beginning. Oh, yes, we have butt fucking in the Torchwood Hub. Now we're going to have butt fucking in the TARDIS. We already have scissoring in the TARDIS. Like, why on earth was there a bed in the console room for Yaz and 13? Because they're fucking each other. That's why. When thinking about potential influence of openly gay Doctor could have on the series, yeah, the influence would destroy it. Doctor Who could possibly enter a renaissance of its own period. No, you're insane. It's not going to work. It's been confirmed that Shooting Atwell will stay on the titular role for 2 seasons. Yeah, again, I want to. I mean, they're probably going to if they start shooting in October. Probably, I'm not sure that's going to happen. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to go down. I'm really not sure. On a broader plan, the Doctor has already mapped out. More time spent with Gatter's iteration of the openly gay Doctor opens up the world opportunity for the Doctor to introduce more multifarious types of characters like Ken. What else do you want? Taking advantage of being able to dig into the unique background. She was the first BIPOC actor. I hate BIPOC, it's racist. To take the role. And again, we should have had a black Doctor in the 80s, I agree. And the previous representation of look at all these, look at this letter salad. BIPOC, LGBTQIA+, person, sex education ensures we got the skills to translate the 15th Doctor experience into authenticity and genuineness. I have to say it first. I've never seen him act in anything I found in any way relatable. Shooting Out being the first to take on a significant turning point for Doctor Who doesn't mean they're going to be able to be the last. I, again, don't think it's going to go. They're setting examples of what the show should continue to look for. God, I can't wait for 20 years from now when they look back at this insanity. When continuing to push the boundaries for where to take their saga next, the queer main character is just the beginning. What else do you want? In the greater scheme of things, BIPOC, LGBTQIA+ people have been around since the beginning of time. Yeah, 3% of you. Something people. By the way, you know, like being gay in the black community is like not that socially acceptable. I hate to be the one to tell you that. I mean, like black community, generally speaking, is pretty darn conservative. And if you want to get into Latino, but much more so. And don't say Latinx, you racist cunt. They hate that. This small step. This is what having a trans Doctor butt fucking a TARDIS, right? Is a small step for you towards broader progressive angles in the show. Could unlock the doors of more groundbreaking moves. I guess so. Maybe we'll have pedophilia, right? You know, maybe we'll have the first pedophile Doctor. Hello, children. Put this in your mouth. Oh, thank you, Doc. I mean, for fuck's sake. It's a matter of that where change. I mean, that's really the only place left to go to now. Pedophilia. Or maybe bestiality. To inspire more groundbreaking moments ahead. Yeah, okay, bestiality. So how's this working out? So I would say the in media, the forefront of this insanity is Disney. How that's working out for you, Disney? Financial analyst calls for Bob Iger, the Walt Disney Company board, an executive management to be dacked after damning CNBC report. Financial analyst Viliant Renegade has repeatedly reported that he sees as poor decisions from the Walt Disney Company, essentially relentlessly pushing a sexually perverse agenda onto families and children, right? It hasn't gone down well. This hatred of family, right? Called the book the Walt Disney Company board and executive management can following the damning CNBC report, right? William Renegade compares This is what Bob Iger does. He's a snake in the grass. Well, I think he's quite openly that. And the house, I mean, he's not in the grass. He's very openly a snake. And the House of Mouse will never regain its former glory. We knew from the years, as long as Bob Iger is still associated with the company. Yeah, you listen. They need to do a hard reset and move away from this perversion, right? That's what they need to do. A hard reset and move away from perversion. He added, nor will I have a chance to provide that Bob Iger puppet board is allowed to remain and stay with his hand up the collective arses. This is a fire sale, folks. Every day, again, they got to make a payment for they're contractually obligated to pay for the final third of Hulu, right? And they're starting negotiations of that this month, I believe. So in 2019, that was valued at 27.5 billion. So they'll need to give about 8-9 billion for that, which they could. They're cash broke now, but they can maybe just pull that together. But the valuation for Hulu can be much higher, right? It's the second streaming service after Netflix, and Netflix is worth 200 billion, right? So let's say Hulu's worth 150. That means they've got to come up with 50 billion. That's going to bankrupt them. Yes, and Comcast is doing it to bankrupt them, right? Every damn one of them needs to go. I mean, maybe they want to. They'll find a way of coming up with the money and then flip Hulu and sell it. But I think they're fucked, right? And they're fucked because of their queer representation. And again, I'm not saying I want gay erasure. I'm saying I want entertainment that reflects its audience, right? And normal gay people are not up for this weird shit either. All of it. Everyone from senior management, executive level and beyond need to go. Can't agree more. They call for a complete change of leadership at the Walt Disney Company following the damning NBC report by Alex Sherman that recounts the turmoil at the company and the strife between former and now current CEO Bob Iger and his successor and now former CEO they fired on Sunday while he was at a Elton John concert, I believe, Bob Chapek. Sherman shares his opinion, saying the story of the Chapek Eater is timeless in its own way. It's a tale of how good intentions clash with hubris and ego to erode one of the most famous organizations of the world. This is all Bob Iger's doing, right? Bob Iger just ran out when COVID started and left Chapek to hold the can. Chapek was a moron for taking it. Although he's a multi-billionaire now with his golden parachute. A case study in corporate dysfunction and succession gone wrong. He then notes the opinion was based on the conversation with more than 25 people who worked closely with Iger and Chapek and Disney between 2020 and 2022. The fact that, in fact, Sherman reveals that while Iger stepped down as CEO, he never actually left his office. Really? Something that Valiant Renegade and Scooper WDW Poe have been reported for months. I didn't know that, right? Look, there he is with Steven Spielberg after taking a shit on Indiana Jones. Like, why do you think anybody wants to see a sad, miserable indie being taken over by Phoebe Waller-Fucking-Bridge that nobody likes, right? Are we getting Helena Shaw and the Temple of Doom? No, nobody fucking cares. It was a complete and total failure. Iger has no interest in moving, had no interest in moving out. So he wasn't truly leaving Disney anyway. His succession plan allowed him to stay on executive chairman for 22 months. Chapek would report to him at the board. Iger would also direct the company's creative endeavors. And everything's failed, right? Failed for exactly the reason, the person who wrote the article about Doctor Who will fail if they do what they're saying. And I think they're going to do what they're saying. Nebulous phrasing suggested that he would retain control of movie and TV content operations. So it's his fault. Everything has failed. They lost 110 billion this year alone. They've lost 110 billion. Fuck me. Park attendance is in the toilet. First, you got the recession, which is like, no, not a recession. First, you got the imploding economy, right? And secondly, you got their absolute hatred of family. And I think having men in dresses greet the children is caused what Davros would have called in Revelation. Is it Revelation of Daleks? I think consumer resistance. He explained when Iger retired earlier that year, or at least January 1st of 2022, the first time as executive chairman of the board, finally giving Bob Chapek breathing room, as it were. Only 11 months of breathing room. That was but that being the case, Bob Iger still managed to retain a 5-year advisory contract with the Walt Disney Company after he left the board and CEO position. So it's all his fault, right? This litany of failure. Meaning Bob Iger was still hanging around aloof. Okay, we get it. I get it. Yes, he was still around there. Okay. Valiant, also as Valiant Renegade noted, Sherman goes to explain how Iger worked against Chapek. Yeah, okay. But essentially, look at this. There's also a gay character in Beauty and the Beast. Everything failed. Everything they've done has failed, right? Look at that. Black Widow, God, wearing white. That worked out well, didn't it? It's all been absolute failure. So what's this? Yeah, Bob Iger, yeah, Biden, right? That incredible success saying, I want every member of the LGBTQIA plus community, especially the kids who I want to cut their tits and their balls off, who will be implicated by this hateful bill, to know that they are loved and accepted. Yes, the bill was saying teachers can't have private conversations influencing your children about sex. Yes, I'm sorry. 5-year-olds can't be told that, putting a dildo up your ass is a good thing that you should try, right? To know they are loved and accepted and also abused. I mean, like the amount of pedophilia going through the roof. There's a reason that Biden and Disney hate the sound of fucking freedom. I have your back and my administration will have your back. You have their fucking asses, you pedo cunt. All right? Your son, by the way, when I call Biden a pedo cunt, I'm just quoting his son who calls him Pedo Pete, right? That was his name on his contacts. And my administration will continue fight for protections that you deserve. So Bob Iger says, I'm with the president on this. Of course you are, you pervert cunt. If passed, this bill will put vulnerable young LGBTQ people in jeopardy. No, it fucking won't. You're just a weirdo cunt, right? And this weirdo sexual cunt insanity is destroying culture. And the truth is this, we're all just turning off. The whole world is just turning off and walking away because the whole world is sick to freaking death of it, right? We are all sick to freaking death of it. So just give it a rest, mate. Just give it a rest. Oh, my God. So, look, we're out of time. But here, there's one more thing to look at. We've got like a minute or so, right? These videos... Oh, wrong thing. Cancel. These videos can only be an hour long because otherwise I got to pay for a $50 membership to stream live. So I said numerous Disney executives report that they believe Bob Iger's endgame is to sell the company to Apple. Apple would have to be out their freaking mind, right? Absolutely out of their mind. So here, I think we'll get to the story maybe on Sunday, maybe if I do something on Saturday. How Suicide Squad what broke him, I can believe that. Latest James Bond novel makes it abundantly clear the villains are white men who oppose wokeness. You guys are freaking weirdos. Speaking of weirdos, yeah, Tiny Child is normal. No, it was absolutely useless and it absolutely failed. These people are out their freaking mind. Enough already. Fine with that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap up. Have yourself a freaking awesome Friday. Have yourself a freaking awesome weekend. Keep an eye on my channel. I don't know when I'm going back, but keep watching the stars, ladies and gentlemen. Keep watching the stars.